Greetings, it's Andy here again with another video, and this is my sort of monthly roundup of new releases and the odd meaningful reissue that I've picked up in the month. And you know, last month, June, I only actually had one brand new record, and this month I've made up for it. So I'm doing it in two parts in the interest of brevity, because I've got 6 to show now, got another couple in the post and a couple of others. So I'm gonna sort of do here at sort of 3/4 of the way through the month what I've got so far, and then I'll do another one early in August to pick up the remaining ones, which I'm very hopeful will be crackers. So I've got 6 to share today. I'm going to start with, shall we say, a meaningful reissue. So this was an album by the Duriti column, and it's called Time Was Gigantic When We Were Kids. So this was originally issued in the late 90s. I think it was 98, but it was around then. But this month it's released for or reissued for the very first time on vinyl. So when it was out before, it was just CD, and then subsequently digital, sort of pure digital file formats. So very first time. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a new one. I've never had it. And in a lot of ways, despite it being 25 years old, it's an absolute cracker. It's in some ways, it's the album I've listened to most this month. I can't get enough of it. There are 5 bonus tracks on it. So actually the last side, it's a double. The last side are the bonus tracks, and they're quite different. I mean, they're good, but they're quite different from the rest of the album, which plays some absolutely beautiful guitar. I mean, Vinnie Riley, who's the guy there, who is effectively the Duriti column, is such a fine guitarist. Very, very different style to most people's. He's very much of his own, and you can tell it's him straight away. There's some vocals. He doesn't tend to sing, though. I think he might have done a bit of warbling on here. And there's a female voice here and there. I don't know who she is. I probably should have looked that up. But a fabulous album, and timeless. You know, if it was released today, I'd still be buying it. New albums, and this is by Polygene, PJ Harvey, brand new record, and it's called I Inside the Old Year Dying, and it's a single album, and it's just a regular black vinyl, and it's a beautiful album. It's based on poems that she wrote in her Dorset dialect. So Polly comes from Dorset, which, if you're not UK based, is in the sort of south, slightly southwest of England, near the New Forest and places like Bournemouth and Weymouth. Other famous people, another famous people, a person who comes from there is Robert Fripp. And they've both got quite strong Dorset accents. So I can imagine if you put them in the room together and they started speaking dialect, not Dalek, dialect, you know, it would be an interesting sort of slightly country bumble sort of discussion, I suspect. But anyway, this is a fabulous album. She's determined to do this slightly differently. So as I say, it's based on her poems. Musically, it's absolutely sound, and her voice is wonderful. Much more, I mean, she's got a fair falsetto on her anyway, but this is much more. She takes a higher register than she does normally. So, I mean, she has won. I think, am I right in saying she's the only person who's won the Mercury Music Award twice? I know she has won it twice. I'm not sure if anyone else has. at the moment, they're only interested in hip hop, but otherwise, I wouldn't mind putting a bet on a third time with this one. So, anyway, that's Polly Jean. Great album, fabulous album.
As childhood died, the Odeon made the soldier reappear. The ocean burned night and day. As
Now, I've not mentioned this before, but a few months ago, I took out a subscription with Rough Trade. They call it Rough Trade Club. And basically, you get you don't get a free album, you've paid for it. So it costs me 30 quid a month, basically. And I get a selected album from them, one they have selected. And quite often they're sort of less obvious ones, shall we say, and in this case it's an artist called Julie Byrne, and the record is called The Greater Wings, and the thing with this subscription, it's always a limited edition exclusive, usually a different colour scheme. So this blue cover is unique to Rough Trade, and it's in what they call Blood Moon, which to me is red. So, but it's a lovely album. I mean, she's a sort of singer-songwriter. It's very gentle. It's very much a less is more album. So she's singing. She's got a lovely voice, slightly Joni-esque, you might say, but with a much higher, a much lower register. So she tends to sing a little bit deeper. Acoustic guitar. Quite a lot of strings on there, and some piano here and there. And this is an album of loss and mourning in a way. So her long-term collaborator and producer and friend died apparently, and the songs are really about that. But it's a nice album. It's not one I would have necessarily picked, 'cause I didn't know know her, but it's very good. So that's one. Oh, and I might say Pitchfork gave it an 8 something review, so it's one of their best new music records of the last month. So where are we? Another new release. This one is a bit of a departure from the type of music I would normally pick. It's Gabriels, and it's Angels and Queens. And of course, Gabriels are a sort of US stroke Anglo, so there's a Brit in there and a couple of Americans. And it's, if you don't know it, and I think most people probably heard something from it already, it's a sort of gospel tinge soul. As I say, it's not my normal fare, but I love it. The songs are beautiful. The singer, I've forgotten his name now, who seems to be quite eccentric, shall we say, and he apparently comes from Compton in LA, and I was just thinking of Out of Compton, and he's not exactly that sort of like sort of rap. He's a gospel singer. He's a nice boy, and it's this one is resplendent in clear vinyl, sort of greyish clear, not fully clear, and nice album. So totally different now, and this is the Swedish band Little Dragon. So this is much more electronica and dance. They come from Gothenburg in Sweden, and I've got to give it full marks for being the best splatter I think I've ever seen. So it's a sort of clear vinyl with a splatter of black, yellow and blue, which really works. The only thing is with it though, there's a point on one of the sides. It's not, thankfully it's not very long, so I'm not sending it back or anything, but there's a hell of a click which goes on for about 20 seconds, 20 seconds in one point, but I'll live with it. I presume that's probably as a result of trying to do too fancy vinyl. And last but not least of this part is another reissue, but again, for me it's a new reissue. First time I've got it on vinyl, and I've got an MP3 copy of it on my server, and it is It's a double. Portico Quartet, a Art in the Age of Automation, and it's as I say, it's a double in clear vinyl. I got this directly from the band on the Bandcamp site, and excuse the dog barking, I'll carry on anyway because he's shut up now. So great record. Portico Quartet are a modern jazz band. They're actually a duo, so I don't know where the quartet comes from, but I put them in the Go-Go Penguin sort of camp. You know, and beautiful instrumental, as I say, modern jazz, but very melodic modern jazz. So, six albums, brand new albums I bought, 2 new reissues, 4 completely new music releases. And I'm going to do a part 2 with another few at the end of the month, because I've just bought a ridiculous number this month. It's been a great month for new music. So thanks for watching. Cheers.